whether it was something that you would talk about actually on Play Radio. So I'm quite pleased that you are. As far as what you were saying about this teddy bear thing, there is one little thing that you haven't mentioned, which is that there were 23 children in the class, and she asked the children what they wanted to vote on, what name they wanted to call the teddy bear, and 20 out of the 23 suggested Mohammed. But they were about 4 or 5 years old, so it could be something to do with that they didn't realise that they weren't meant to call another thing apart from God by that name.
Or maybe they thought they were doing Muhammad a favour, because your education in anything, especially probably spiritual matters, is very incomplete. However old these children were, we thought they were 7 or 8. Zara, you heard it that they were 4 or 5.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
They're not good journalists, are they? In fact, they're crap journalists, aren't they? They never tell you any important shit.
Well, I think that's a really good point. That's probably the best point that you've made so far, in my opinion, because the thing about journalists and the news that we get is not even so much that the news is misreported. It's the news that they choose to give us is so skewed and so limited. That's the propaganda that we're getting by missing out on, by their choosing, and by the larger media companies and the financiers of the world choosing what it is that we're allowed to know and to talk about and discuss.
Well, I just think it's lazy journalism.
Well, there's that as well.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. What is it that the guy who's donated all this money via 4 intermediaries to the Labour Party, what's the problem with that? What's wrong with him? Why did he do it? Why didn't he just write them a cheque for the amount of money he wanted to donate? We don't know, do we? Is that because possibly if they get that wrong, he might sue them for libel? If that's so, then I still want to know that there are reasons why the Labour Party shouldn't have been allowing him to do it, but that they can't publish those things because they're only speculation. But I want to know, because at the moment we've got lots of pieces of that jigsaw, but not that key one, which is what's wrong with him. Why did he do it that way? Do you have any idea why he did it that way?
Well, I need to give you a slightly long answer to that, which is that, 1, I don't know what you're talking about, but 2, the reason why I don't know what you're talking about is because for the last year and a half, I've attempted to, and obviously haven't quite made it, but I've attempted to ban all news from myself because I don't want to be fed propaganda. Obviously, some things get through the net, like this particular story, and occasionally I do read things on the internet, but apart from that, most of the news, I'd say 90% of it, I don't know what it is because I've chosen not to know what it is so that I don't have to be carried along with something that I don't believe in, which is the hype that we're given.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with you doing that, actually.
Why not? Why not?
Why not? Well, because I actually enjoy consuming.
Yeah, well, it's not an entertainment, is it? The news isn't meant to be something that you enjoy. That's the problem with it. It's meant to be just reporting facts. That's what people claim it is, but it isn't that.
But I get an enjoyment out of applying my own intelligence and journalistic.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with that. You can apply your intelligence to many different things, but why do you have to apply your intelligence to something that actually you're already getting such a twisted reporting of very limited bits of information that actually it's dulling your brain because you're not able, by taking in all this kind of very skewed stuff, you're not able to see the bigger picture.
No,
I mean, I don't know.
You're
right.
No, I am. You're not.
All right.
Okay,
maybe.
If you're not able to do that, then fine, butt out.
Well,
But I enjoy it.
All right.
Just as I enjoy it. I'm interested in everything, whereas there are certain things that you've chosen not to be interested in.
Well, it's not that I've chosen not to be interested in it. What I'm trying to do is to be interested in the bigger picture. And I think you can only see the bigger picture when you stop staring at the smaller picture.
Fiona disagrees, I think.
This is my theory.
I'd like
to be wrong. I don't know.
Sure, but I'd like to bring Fiona into the conversation because she has thoughts on this as well, judging by the look you just pulled there.
My only point is that how can you have an idea of the bigger picture if you choose to exclude yourself from all the information that's out there? Surely you can read and listen to all the information that's there, and then make your own intelligent, judgment on what's right, what's wrong, what's propaganda, what's not.
Because I don't believe that is real life. I don't believe the stuff that we're fed in newspapers and on the TV and through general media is the real stuff of life. And I think the only way that you can come across that is by limiting that and actually reducing the information that you take in to the stuff that's actually relevant to you as an individual and to the people that you know, the things that are directly affecting your life. It's called existentialism. That's what I believe in. I don't know if it's the right thing to do, but I'm trying it out. It's got its pros and it's got its cons.
Okay. So how did you come across the Sudan thing, then, if you don't read the news?
Just because somebody sent me an article on the internet, and then I started looking into it more. I mean, I do occasionally read stuff on the internet. I'm going to take
a call on my mobile, which means that we are now a 5-platform media organ, which is totally excellent. Okay, and the caller is... Hold on. It might be Duncan. No, it's maybe it's my son. In which case, it's probably not for broadcast, but that would be good, wouldn't it, to be able to
Well, apparently your son is hot, so,
How do you know that?
You said.
Oh, yeah, okay, well, in that case... well, I say I'm biased, but he is very good-looking, yes. They're both good-looking, actually. Now, let's drift back to where we were. Okay, so you're trying out existentialism, but you...
Well, no.
But you
I'm not trying out existentialism. I am an existentialist, and this is one particular way that a couple of existentialists believe is the right thing to do, like Jean-Paul Sartre. This is his idea.
Yes.
And so I'm following it through to see how it works.
Well, my son, actually, is studying Jean-Paul Sartre at the moment, the one who's hot.
Oh, yeah.
Are you into 19-year-old men?
I like the idea of it, but in reality...
Aren't they empty? Aren't they shallow?
They look cool, though. They look...
I know they look good, but that's the reason why I can't be bothered with teenage women anymore, because they've got so little conversation.
Yeah.
And when they do try and say something, you know that they're just trying to be like one of the girls in Friends, and it's almost possible to identify which one they're trying to be like.
Oh,
so that's But going back to this Sudan, just cutting to the heart of the debate with the woman in Sudan. Would you take the 40 lashes or 6 months in a Sudanese prison?
I'd go in prison.
You would?
I've always wanted to be in prison just for, a few months or a couple of years. I think it would be great. I mean, not if it was, sort of one of those really horrible ones where you get kind of cockroaches crawling up you throughout the night and stuff. But if it was just like solitary confinement and you're just there on your own, I think it'd be fantastic.
I couldn't agree with you more. Solitary I'd want as well.
Yeah, me too. It would be so great. Just imagine all the things you could do just on your own in a cell for months.
Yeah,
that would be bliss.
What a life Steve McQueen had in The Great Escape. He got to ride a motorbike a lot, and then he could go into that cooler and with a baseball, they'd give him a baseball, and he could be there for 3 months. Fantastic. Zara, thank you for your call. Great talking with you. Talk to you again. Always good value is Zara. She's practically got a slot, hasn't she? Email. If you email us, we will read it out. We're not paying too much attention to the Skype chat this evening, but you carry on ahead and chat amongst yourselves. Email studio@playradio.com. We'll take a Skype call after some emails. What we got, Matt?
Steve Bentley says there's an opinion that having been sentenced to 15 days, she got off lightly, particularly as she'd been in custody for 5 days previous to being sentenced. Would it be cynical to suggest that this sentence length was deliberately chosen as long enough to be considered as some sort of punishment, but not really being long enough for the UK diplomacy effort to really put representations together, so they don't have to lose face by making a U-turn under pressure from the international community?
Whoever that emailer is, Steve is completely and utterly spot on. Mm-hmm. That is just how the law functions, no matter what country the legal system is being run in. And there is a tendency for us to think that Sudan is being backward, isn't there?
There is.
But I think you can be poor and you can have problems with famine and disease, but you can still be pretty sharp. Pretty sharp. Mm-hmm. I worked in Ethiopia during one of the not so bad famines. That's a terrible thing to say, isn't it? But you know what I mean. I was impressed with the philosophical and spiritual powers of the people, but also their shrewdness. People who couldn't